Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You can go ahead and move forward. Okay, the Parley's Pocket Trumpeters is the first of its kind Suzuki brass ensemble in a primary elementary school classroom. Each year, 70 to 90 beginning 5th grade students opt into the Pocket Trumpeters program in lieu of their general music class. Students are provided with a pocket trumpet at no cost to them for use throughout the school year. Here's that pocket trumpet that each student receives, and it comes with a mouthpiece, a cleaning kit, and a soft shell carrying case. I have them perform a minimum of 6 in-school and community concert recitals throughout the school year. This excerpt is from our holiday concert, and they had only been playing for 4 months at this point. Let's see if it works. Is it not going to work? No. Okay. Wait. No. Okay. We'll move on. So, a little background about me. My name is Sara Marchetti, and I have a master's degree in trumpet performance from the University of Michigan, where I studied with Charles Duvall. My bachelor's degree in trumpet performance is from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, where I studied with Ray Sasaki. I spent a year at the University of Kentucky studying with Terry Everson. I am now a certified Suzuki trumpet instructor for books 1 through 4, having trained with Anne-Marie Sundberg, and I have 20 plus years of experience as a music educator in Utah. I'm currently the music specialist at Parley's Park Elementary in Park City, Utah. In addition to my teaching role, I perform as second trumpet with the Valley West Orchestra. You're going to play the excerpt? Sure. So this presentation today aims to challenge the notion that Suzuki methods are limited to private studios or specialized schools. By the end of this lecture, I hope you'll have insights into implementing Suzuki brass in a primary elementary education. So some things that I hope you get out of this lecture are the core principles of Suzuki brass pedagogy, strategies for proposing and advocating for a Suzuki brass program in a public school framework, effective fundraising techniques to launch and sustain a Suzuki program in a resource-constrained environment, best practices for structuring a Suzuki brass classroom, guidelines for adapting Suzuki repertoire to suit the needs of a primary elementary school setting, key lessons learned from integrating Suzuki methods into a traditional school day, pathways to becoming a certified Suzuki brass teacher, and practical tips for overcoming challenges unique to implementing Suzuki in a public primary elementary school. Today's slides that didn't make the cut will be included in the appendix of the presentation, which you can have in the download later. Okay, first I'd like to provide a brief history of Suzuki brass. This is what you might think of when you see this picture is a young child and a teacher in a studio learning violin. The parent is an active participant in the child's learning and development. The Suzuki method's core principles include early start. Children can begin as young as 3. The mother tongue approach, learning through listening, mimicking, and repetition. The learning triangle, equal partnership of student, teacher, and parent. Group practice, improving through playing with others, building social skills. Whole student development. Suzuki aimed to create noble beings through music. This is a quote that I use as a core value of my program, and I'll just let you read it for 10 seconds or so. Okay, the Suzuki method is not only limited to strings. There are over a dozen instruments taught by the Suzuki method. This is Anne-Marie Sundberg, the creator of the Suzuki method for trumpet, which was established in 2011. Although the Suzuki method for brass is less known than the string counterpart, it does have a rich history and a dedicated pioneer. Let's explore the development of this innovative approach. It was inspired by Anne-Britt Halvorsen Ret Pa Musikken, Straight to the Music. Anne-Marie began developing the method in early 2000s, starting with 4-year-olds in 2007. She was recognized as the European Suzuki Association instructor, and she's instrumental in expanding Suzuki brass instruction beyond the trumpet. She trains Suzuki brass teachers globally for both the European Suzuki Association and the Suzuki Association of the Americas. The Pocket Trumpeteer's inception. The why. The inspiration for the Pocket Trumpeteers program emerged from my experiences as a secondary band teacher. Here's what drove me to create this approach. In my over 10 years as a secondary band director, concert preparation often overshadowed fundamental skill development. I observed that students with prior Suzuki training excelled as performers, and this sparked a question: what if all students had Suzuki training before middle school band? Traditional Suzuki programs, while effective, often have limited accessibility due to instrument costs. And I saw an opportunity to bring Suzuki methods into mainstream elementary and primary classrooms, aligning with Dr. Suzuki's belief that every child can learn to play an instrument. The Pocket Trumpeteers concept emerged as a way to overcome the instrument availability hurdle. The proposal. Proposing the program in 2020, I saw a school district open to innovative ideas, and I chose Park City School District in Utah because it was known for innovation and it has really strong funding. The district's inclusivity policy, all the activities and supplies were free for students. My initial vision was to supplement general music with trumpet from kindergarten, piloting in grade 5, and then the potential to expand younger grades based on success. The program was designed to benefit whole child development and to address the learning lost to COVID. How to fund your Suzuki program. How much to raise. Here's a breakdown of the essential items we considered for the Pocket Trumpeteers program. Instrument and accessories, learning materials, maintenance supplies, specialized training tools, classroom enhancements, professional development, and ongoing expenses. And you can read the bullet points later. These are some of the tools that I used for my program. I'm going to be starting in the upper left-hand corner. You're probably familiar with the mouthpiece puller. And then we have the embouchure, which was created by Tom Hooten. This is the main tool I use to set up students with perfect form. I really did have great success with this tool. It was a goal of mine to make sure that each student was set up perfect. The Astra Air Trainer is a fun tool that I use to include. It includes various weighted balls that the students have to keep afloat for however many seconds we were doing that day. It trains students to support their air, and it can be used also for articulation exercises, and it does require a mouthpiece. In the bottom left is what's called a shortcut, and this helps younger students hold the mouthpiece with ease. These can also be 3D printed. Next, we have neck straps, which are used to help ensure that students don't drop their instruments, and these can save a lot of money in repair costs. And then the 3D printed Rahano practice boots were essential for managing noise with multiple students in a small room. Next, how to select the best vendor. Selecting the right vendor was crucial for the success of the Pocket Trumpeteers program. Here's how I approached this critical decision. I chose pocket trumpets over cornets or full-size trumpets for storage and portability. I researched over a dozen vendors to ensure a comprehensive selection. This was important to avoid fixating on a few familiar options. It broadened the possibilities for my selection criteria, and it demonstrated price consciousness to my financial supporters. Vendor selection criteria: price, quality, turnaround, and relationship. I selected Austin Custom Brass for their educator discount, service, and timely delivery. Critical, reliable local repair service, which I did use. To celebrate each new shipment of instruments, we host what I call an unpacking party. And this event serves multiple purposes. It creates excitement among the students about the new instruments. And then the photos kind of document the growth of our program. I use these occasions to publicly thank our program benefactors and stakeholders. And these events help maintain enthusiasm and support for the Pocket Trumpeteers. Next, we have fundraising sources. This is kind of a shocking number, but I needed to raise $40,000 for a whole grade level set of trumpets, tools, and supplies necessary to run my program. And this ask, of course, demanded more than traditional fundraising could offer. And I know this was an ambitious goal, so I had to step far outside my comfort zone. So some of the sources are here: the school district, which in my case was just not viable for the large-scale project funding. My school parent-teacher association was the primary source. They're absolutely amazing. They funded the initial 72 instruments, books, and cleaning kits, and they also provide me with a yearly operating budget. I used community philanthropy, and I raised $10,000 from the Park City Community Foundation via a benefits concert. Grant seeking, I received a small grant from the Utah Trumpet Guild and local education foundations. The Park City Education Foundation has provided yearly grants for my Suzuki teacher training and 15 additional instruments. This is just an example of a professional design of a program that we made for the fundraising concert. And then this is a list of other fundraising sources that I won't read through each of the bullet points, but you can look it over later in the presentation distribution materials. Okay, how to structure your Suzuki program. I had to decide whether I wanted to be an opt-in or required participation. Here's how I approached it. I chose the opt-in model to ensure highly motivated students. This decision was made collaboratively with our PTA and principal. Parents were notified at the previous year end. We asked them whether they wanted their child to participate, and if opting in, parents were required to sign a contract. The contract outlined key commitments: student practice expectations, proper instrument care, and required parental support. Students not opting in were enrolled in my general music class. Class size. Here's how I've structured our classes. The current structure is about 20 to 25 students per class. There are 47-minute sessions, and I see them once per week during regular school hours. The results: students have shown remarkable progress despite limited in-class time, and I think it demonstrates the efficiency of the Suzuki method in group settings. Maximizing impact. Daily sessions, of course, would yield more dramatic results, and I've implemented creative solutions to increase student exposure. I'm going to talk more on this later. A key takeaway is even with time constraints, the method proves highly effective. Flexibility in program structure can lead to enhanced outcomes. Student levels. Adapting Suzuki's individualized approach to a classroom setting presented unique challenges. Our strategy for managing student progress has evolved over time. The initial approach, the first 2 years, was no formal student differentiation by proficiency. I did acknowledge abilities through repertoire assignments and special performances. Advanced students assisted with teaching less proficient peers. Observations. Students progressed at different rates. Most reached level 2 if you are thinking of it on a 1 to 3 scale by year's end. Some lessons learned. Earlier differentiation could allow for more challenging repertoire sooner, and external incentives may boost motivation and progress. I have a new strategy this year. I'm introducing a formal level system, and it aims to provide clearer goals and motivation for my students. What we have here is called the Pocket Trumpeteer Star Chasers. The program highlights are that it's a 3-tiered progression system to motivate and track student advancement. The students progress by meeting clear performance goals. The advanced levels offer more challenging repertoire and performance opportunities, and the progress can be visually tracked on a classroom star chart. This system aligns with Suzuki's philosophy. Okay, this past year, 2 of what I would call my level 3 students participated in the very prestigious Intermountain Suzuki String Institute, which is held in Draper, Utah. This renowned music camp attracts over 600 participants annually, including students, teachers, and guest artists from around the world, specializing in both string and brass. This is Torin, and at the time of filming, he had only been playing for 7 months. Can we maybe play that back then?
Listen. 7 months of the Suzuki method.
Yes. And he's never played at all. It's just
So cute.
10. Yes, so he was like we were saying, the 1 to 3. He was like a level 3, if you want to put levels to it. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I did have student practice expectations. I think that's really crucial for the success of the method. And here's how I approached it. My weekly practice goal, I asked them to practice a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes per day, 3 times a week. And the practice sessions should include buzzing and airflow exercises, listening. They review their old repertoire, and then they worked on new repertoire. And that was kind of the format I gave them. Parents were encouraged to create a dedicated practice space at home and also help students establish a consistent practice routine. In additional practice support, I offered what I call a Pocket Trumpeters Club, both before and after school for about 40 minutes each day. And then I would help some kids during their lunchtime recess, and then I had additional tutoring sessions when they were available. And that's how I kind of squeezed in a little bit more time with them. And I really emphasize quality over quantity in practice. Effective progress monitoring is vital in a Suzuki-inspired program. I've developed a simple yet motivating system to track repertoire mastery. So this is an example of an early pass-off sheet, which is, if it's before they reach Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the book, it's called Pre-Twinkle. So anyways, these are sticker trackers that are used to manage pass-offs. The students can earn stickers for song performances, and they have to get all 3 stickers to fully pass off a song. And then I incorporated level 2 and 3 students to kind of assist me in helping pass off the lower level peers. And this system allowed more time for individualized instruction. Okay, my lesson structure. I think it's really important to have a pretty structured lesson to be as efficient as possible, since I'm only seeing them 1 time a week. So the way I structured it was pre-lesson, I'll call it, was active listening during student arrival. Physical preparation, I had them do different body stretches. We did some brain kind of games, air warm-ups, mouthpiece buzzing. I had them work on oral skills development with ear training that included me playing and then responding back. I also incorporated music theory of early note reading and other things. Repertoire work, we would review previous material, and then I would introduce a new song or topic. Collaborative learning, students would have a chance to discourse and talk about what we were learning, and then they also gave each other feedback. And then at the very end of class, I allowed practice time, and then there was just a little bit left for cleanup, cool down, and reflection. And I just wanted to note that I think the Suzuki Brass curriculum is so comprehensive, and it's provided as part of the Suzuki teacher training. It's very sequential, it's designed to be easily followed by beginners. It allows students, in my opinion, to progress at an accelerated pace, and all of the necessary materials for implementing the program are included in the training. So I think it's a complete resource for teachers. Okay, concerts. Performance is a cornerstone of the Suzuki method. I think it fosters motivation, it builds confidence, and it offers students the ability to share their progress with the community. These are just some examples of ways that I have them incorporate concerts at my school, and you can read through those in the distribution materials. Okay, this is an excerpt from our 5th grade graduation ceremony. It was all of the 5th grade, and then it was a smaller group of pocket trumpeteers. At this point, they had been playing for 9 months. Somebody, I don't remember who, but a teacher told me that, oh, this Star Spangled Banner would just be too much for these young performers, but I think they did absolutely amazing. So I don't know if we can get a clip of that too. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can listen to the rest, but they get they get up there, yeah, they totally do. And that's a range from first base F up to the top line F, which they were able to do, which is pretty amazing, I think. Okay, so the Suzuki Brass Repertoire. The Suzuki Trumpet School is the official method book for the Suzuki method for trumpet. So these are kind of all of the books. I'll go through it really quick. The Suzuki Trumpet School Volume 1 was published in 2013. Volume 2 is in final review. Volumes 3 and 4 are still in prototype. We're working right now collaboratively on Volume 5, and there are separate teaching certifications for each volume. Okay, while the Suzuki Trumpet School forms our core curriculum, we enrich our program with curated effective materials. The Takeoff and Blast Boost series by Jan Lippel. These books feature upbeat accompaniment tracks that the students really enjoyed. I also use them as sight reading practice. I had a few of my level 3 students progress to Arbin's method and a few other trumpet-specific books. And of course, I had to incorporate some popular pop songs. For example, Taylor Swift's Love Story was really loved this year. Okay, lessons learned. Through my first 2 years of this program, there are a few lessons I feel are worth sharing. Parental involvement. Adapting the Suzuki method's emphasis on parental involvement in a public school setting does present unique challenges and opportunities. I had to recognize limitations. There's no way I could mandate involvement levels the same way as I could with a private studio. Providing resources. I did equip the parents with comprehensive information and tools. I maintained communication with them by frequent, clear updates on student progress. I showcased the growth. I would demonstrate student development to inspire engagement, fostered gradual involvement, and encouraged increased participation as parents witnessed their child's excitement and progress. The goal was to maximize parental support with the constraints of a public school environment. Scaling your program. This is something that would be so individual to anybody who would start this program, so I'm going to just have you read through that as part of what you would look at later in the presentation. But this just gives you some ideas for how I manage that. Okay, varying levels of commitment. Managing varying levels of student commitment is a key challenge in a diverse classroom setting. I was dealing with factors such as extracurricular activities, varying levels of parent support, and individual responses to challenges, which all played a role. Here are some of the lessons I've learned in addressing this challenge. Embrace diverse commitment levels. As a former band director, you wanted everyone to be uniform, kind of at the same level, but that's really impractical with a program like this. I had to view diversity as an opportunity. I tailored expectations to individual circumstances and capabilities. I leveraged peer support, encouraged students to assist and motivate each other, and foster a collaborative learning environment that benefits all commitment levels. Develop resilient strategies. Teach students to persist through challenges and frustrations. Provide extra support for those facing additional barriers to commitment. Here's how you can become a certified Suzuki Brass teacher. There are two main organizations that offer training: the European Suzuki Association and the Suzuki Association of the Americas. The websites are listed here under each. Training formats. They include both in-person and online options. Note, choose the organization that best fits your location and goals. In conclusion, the journey of establishing a Suzuki brass program in an elementary classroom is both challenging and rewarding. As I conclude, let's review the key steps to success. Secure institutional support. Find a supportive district or school. Engage with a PTA that believes in and financially backs your program. Establish strong partnerships. Collaborate with enthusiastic instrument vendors, and build a supportive community beyond your school. Adopt a growth mindset. Start small and be patient. Continuously promote and expand your program. Invest in your expertise. Become a certified Suzuki brass teacher. Believe in your potential. Remember, if I can do it, so can you. I'd like to leave this last few minutes open if anybody had any questions. You have a question?
How much does the training cost?
Oh, you'll have to look on the website, but I believe it's under $1,000. And it's about, I think level 1 was 10 days of training and 15 hours of observation and 8 hours, it's a lot, and 8 hours of in-class training. So it's pretty intense, but you can find specific details on those websites. Yeah.
These websites.
Yes, those, thank you, on those websites. Is that it? Okay. Oh, great.
So she's wondering, it's very hard to teach all students, like 20 students, 25.
Right.
So do you have any classes to teach them privately?
Not totally privately, but the before school is with a lot less kids. There was maybe, it varied on the day, but maybe 10 kids would show up one morning, so I could, something like that. And then after school, it was even less than that. And then some kids would come in during their lunch recess, and those were sometimes one-on-one. But it was never like, they never got a lesson with just me. No. It's during the school day. Yes.
So the school already had it before you came?
No. I created the whole program, and they helped me fit it in to our schedule. They were amazing.
So was it hard?
Yes, at first, but it's so well laid out that the kids pick it up so fast. They don't do any note reading to start with. It's all your training, and then later I didn't even introduce note reading until January. That's when we first started really reading a note on the musical staff, but it was all by ear. It's very oral, and we have listening as part of the practice. So they listen to the songs, and then they follow my fingers.
So in Japan, it's
that's why I think you need to really find a school district
Yeah, okay.
that would support you fully, because I couldn't have done this at my last school. This was something that I researched, and I brought it to them in my interview.
Yeah, in Tokyo we can find that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think you can do it. I think you could do it. And if you have any other questions, you feel free to email me, or we can talk more about it.
All the piles, it's amazing. So I think it's better to share.
Yeah, and the training is also great because you get a lot of feedback from other teachers and great ideas, and the curriculum is, like I said, is all laid out. So you don't have to invent the wheel or anything. It's there.